Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. In the last episode of my moving in series, we built my new furniture for my new arts and crafts room, and today it's finally time to declutter and to organize my supplies. To make it easier for myself, I will be following the Konmari Method invented by Marie Kondo. According to her method, you only want to keep things that spark your joy. But to actually be able to find it out, we need to go through everything we have one by one. Here it's important to envision your ideal life. So I wanted to have my arts and crafts space to be organized but clutter-free and also accessible to avoid any frustration or wasting time while searching for my supplies. To have a clear and organized space would also mean having a clear mind that allows you to feel inspired. So in order to figure out what we should let go of and what we can keep, it's important to lay down everything that we have onto the floor. Since I just moved and had all my stuff in different boxes, I put as much as possible onto the floor before I went through every item in front of me. First, I checked some of the items like pens, glue, if they're still usable, and then asked myself if they really spark my joy. Some other things you can ask yourself is, when was the last time I used it? Will I use it in the near future? If so, for what? Why am I holding on to it? Was it expensive even though I don't use it? Did I get it just because it was on sale, but I actually don't need it? Did I get it only for the thrill of buying something? Do I really use this medium? Would I buy this item again? And do I really need 100 different pencils and ball pens? Sometimes you have those items that are still usable and at some point you actually use them but not anymore. And some of those items can evoke feelings like stress, frustration, or the feeling of being overwhelmed or disinterest. This means these items expired for you. Maybe you had a hobby you used to enjoy or craft supplies that you wanted to use but never did. They might still be in a good shape, but their time has passed. And that's okay when things don't serve us anymore. Those things have helped us, supported us, and served a purpose in our life in some way. But now it's time to thank them and to let them go. Some items might be part of a collection, but do you really like all the items in this collection? A collection should be curated and not just being cluttered with all sorts of things that fit together. They should be picked out carefully. For example, I had a huge tape collection, but I actually only used 2 or 3 different tapes. The rest I didn't really use or liked, but I didn't want to let go of them. You might think you will need it one day in the future, but one day usually never happens. I will be donating my arts and crafts supplies to organizations that will actually need and use them so they can bring joy to other people. And if you will actually need it one day, for example in a few years, you can still buy it again. Once I had everything discarded, I started collecting and organizing everything into categories that made sense to me so I can see what I have left to be able to organize it and to designate a space for every item better. I created categories such as paper, pens, molds, clay, soap, paint, and other things like brushes, and organized everything accordingly. And from here, I could start placing everything into my drawers. I started with the lowest drawer first and placed all my different molds inside, dividing them into silicone and plastic molds. I'm so happy that I can now see exactly what I have and easily get something out instead of digging through boxes or looking through different areas to find something. For organizing my arts and crafts supplies, I use these paper dividers from IKEA and arranged them inside the drawers the way I needed it. This is everything I have in the clay category. Some clay, cutters, and other molding tools. I use the small dividers to organize my tools, and the rest of the space I could use for my clay. This is what I had left of my soap making supplies. Here I only threw out some empty bottles, and the rest I placed into small plastic bags so nothing could accidentally leak out later. I divided the space into my different soaps, soap colorants, sand, rubbing alcohol, and popsicle sticks. I like the fact that everything is in separate containers and I can see exactly where everything is and how many things I have to have an overview. Next, we have my collection of glues and all sorts of glazes. Here I kept most of it because I use everything all the time and now it's great to have everything in one place. Next, we have my leftover items for jewelry making and other decorations. I divided them into categories like metal items and decoration items. I still have more in the basement, I think, that I haven't found yet, so we will see what I will do with the rest. Here I filled 2 small jars with my decoration sand so I could throw away the big bottle, and packed my small glitter jars upside down using the divider boxes so I can see exactly what colors I have. The next category contains different tapes, ribbons, sewing, and gift wrapping items such as gift ribbon and tags. I felt like these items are similar and would fit together. I got rid of most of my ribbons, tapes, and just kept everything that sparked my joy or that I plan on using. Since I still had so many DIY supplies left, I used my other tall Alex drawer unit to separate the stuff the same way. In the lowest drawer I used for different cups and containers that I use for different DIY projects, and then placed my candle making supplies in the next drawer, and the rest I filled with fabric and other tools and DIY project supplies such as perler beads and the pegboards. Now we only have to organize my art supplies. Let's start with the paper. This is my painting and drawing paper collection. Here I used the other Alex drawer unit to divide my paper into paper for watercolor, drawing, and acrylic, and then divided the rest of my paper and special foils such as colored paper, cardboard, and shrinking plastic into one of the other drawers. I also put some of my old drawings and paintings next to it, but this is only temporary because it's not everything I have. I still had so many different art supplies, so I decided I will use the lowest drawer and place the paper divider inside to separate my smaller paints and pans. I divided them into porcelain pans, porcelain, and fabric paint, and other art supplies and tools. Next on the list are my acrylic, watercolor paints, and other sprays. Here I checked if the bottles are empty or not and placed the rest into the basket I got from IKEA as well. It's great because you can move it around without having to carry the bottles separately. I also decluttered my brush collection, and for now I wanted to put them above my Alex drawers using small plastic baskets that I got from IKEA as well that you can find in the kitchen section. It took me some time to screw them onto the wall because the screws are below the bar, so it was tricky and tiring. But once I attached everything to the wall, I added the plastic baskets and placed the different brushes by category inside the baskets. There's still room for other pans and maybe even plants, you will see. And my other things I use on a daily basis, like pans and other everyday stationery, I put into my desk drawer using my plastic containers from IKEA that I already had. I kept my tools together such as compass, ruler, tape, and hole puncher so I don't have to look around in different drawers. And some other notepads and envelopes I placed simply into the drawers. I still haven't figured out the perfect organization for that, but it will work for now. Now what was left to do was attaching my pegboard I got from IKEA onto the wall, and then arranging all my other stationery that I use and spark my joy. The great thing about it is that you can always switch things up and adjust it. I added some washi tapes and colorful pens, and this is the setup at the moment. But for now, I think this setup looks cute and happy. I still have some other crafts and art supplies that I need to organize, such as gift wrapping paper and canvases, so I will show you that in one of my other videos. So stay tuned for that. In the next episode, we are going to decorate my arts and crafts room, so be sure to turn notifications on to get notified when I upload a new video. I really hope you liked the video and found it helpful. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up to support this channel, it will mean a lot to me. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and to turn notifications on to get notified whenever I upload a new video on Thursdays and on Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye!